Welcome to the San Francisco Public Library Commission meeting for November 20th, 2025. The time is 4:30. I'm Margot Schaub, and I serve as the Commission Affairs Analyst. This meeting is being held in person in the main library auditorium, and members of the public can observe the meeting using Zoom by following the link in the library's event calendar or by calling 1-877-853-5247 and entering ID number 936-4983-8677. Members of the public who are attending the meeting in person may provide public comment for up to 2 minutes for each discussion or action item on the agenda. Library commissioners in attendance are President Connie Wolf, Vice President Pete Wong, Commissioners Lomax Giarduzzi, Bolander, Jones, and Calhoun.
Thank you very much. And hello and welcome to the November 20th, 2025 meeting of the San Francisco Public Library Commission. Hard to believe it's November already. We welcome all of you here in Correct. Thank you for coming, and we welcome our virtual audience joining us via Zoom. We will start with the Ramaytush Ohlone land acknowledgement. The area now known as San Francisco is the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples of the San Francisco Peninsula. As the original peoples of this land, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place. We recognize that we benefit from living, working, and learning on their traditional homeland. As uninvited guests, we affirm their sovereign rights as First Peoples and wish to pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community. For today's meeting, all the materials are available on the Library Commission webpage or here in Correct at the back of the auditorium. Today we have a total of 4 agenda items, and we will begin, as usual, with general public comment. This is an opportunity for members of the public attending the meeting here in Correct to address the Commission on any items of interest that are within our subject matter jurisdiction. Just a reminder that you can address specific items on the agenda when that item is called. So we open up for general public comment here in Correct.
Good afternoon. My name's Robert M. Smith. I'm an attorney in this state and a barrister in the United Kingdom, and a former Washington correspondent for the New York Times. Before I'm done, I will be furnishing each of you with my formal complaint. I'm also taking the liberty of sending copies to Budget Chair Kami Chan, Oversight Chair Jackie Felder, and the San Francisco Commission on the Aging. I'm here today to put this committee on notice. I was subjected to unprofessional and exclusionary conduct by the leader of the Great Books program, an organization you host, and one that the library supports out of public funds with free marketing and free meeting rooms. I believe First Amendment issues may be involved. I've been met with institutional obstruction. May I add, I sent a letter to the city librarian, no response. I called your staff liaison to Great Books twice and left voicemail messages twice, no response. This isn't just poor service, it's a pattern of obstruction against, in my view, a senior citizen, a member of a protected class. Your library accepts federal LSTA grants. These obligate you legally to follow the Age Discrimination Act. You accept state funds under the California Library Services Act. Those obligate you to follow state rights issues. And you accept $2.5 million a year from the Friends of the Library, donors who would surely be appalled by this if I knew about it. Your leadership's silence creates the legal inference that the reason for their conduct may be improper. By ignoring me, you're inviting litigation, a formal complaint to your federal and state funders, and a public issue that may affect your sponsors. I'm going to have the actual complaint, and I'll give it to.
Thank you very much. Thank you. No, thank you very much. You can leave that with us. Thank you.
I'd love for you to stick around for a moment, and I'd love to talk with you. Peter Warfield, Executive Director, Library Users Association, Library Users 2004 at yahoo.com. Excuse me, that's not working right now. P.O. Box 170544, San Francisco, California, 94117-0544. Very interesting public comment from the previous speaker. We certainly don't have the library treating folks appropriately at a number of points, and legally, certainly when it comes to open government issues, including your summaries of public comment, which I've commented on before. I'm still concerned, as I was last time, with respect to the safety of folks in a variety of ways. I'm concerned with the library's continual shrinking of privacy, sending people to places where they're completely non-private with respect to their library, what they're seeking from the library and what the library is providing, and contingency planning. I mentioned contingency planning was something that I thought was very important, and I tried to be a little bit discreet about why I was speaking about contingency planning, including the fact that I've never had a fire drill going on while I was at the library. So let me tell you, there was a shooting outside that killed one of the people that involved the library's security folks, and the library simply announced at about 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon that they were closing. And I was sitting at a computer, and I asked my neighbor, I said, did I understand correctly? There was no explanation given. It was completely, in a sense, chaotic. There was no staff or anybody else telling where to go. There was nobody saying where she should leave, in which direction, nothing. That's why.
Thank you very much. Further public comment?
Hi, I'm Miriam Roble, and I'm on the board of Friends of the Library. I'm the treasurer, and wanted to come and speak to you today to let you know that we're about to launch our year-end fundraising campaign for the library. The theme this year is You Build the Future of Our Libraries. And running through December, we want to highlight how community support helps the library and how Friends helps the library support, strengthen, and advocate for the library. We've also just completed our strategic planning process. We started about 10 months ago, and reaffirming our mission to strengthen, support, and advocate for a premier public library system in the city of San Francisco. Our board just approved the plan, and we're excited to begin implementation and work over the next 5 years. And we look forward to continued partnership with you as we work together to support the library. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other further public comment?
Good afternoon, Jason Gibbs, retired librarian. Sorry to be a bummer, but as Mr. Warfield noted, there was a murder at the public library, at this library. I did some investigation, and the events had nothing to do with the library or its service. It was two people with their own beef outside, but that was never communicated to staff. And staff were rightly concerned that we could have had somebody, an armed murder inside of the building without any information about it. One thing you should know is that our security staff was excellent. One of them tried to stop the bleeding, which was profuse, was ultimately unsuccessful because the man died, even though the city librarian never sent out notice of this happening. The person was from Urban Alchemy, who the library has worked with very closely, and many staff members feel a close relationship to. They've actually been a real asset to the library, people who are really serious about turning their lives around. That's what makes this event so unfortunate. So when I read about it happening, I thought, is it that guy at the bridge? Like I sort of imagined that it was somebody intimately involved in the library. Fortunately, it wasn't. But it also brings up the fact that library staff are routinely threatened by members of the public. We joke, but they say like, at least once a week we'll come and somebody will say to you after you've told them to adjust their behavior, I'm going to see you outside. And of course, 99.9% of the time, that doesn't happen. But it can happen, and people are truly worried. And this whole event had a profound effect on staff morale at the main library, and people feel like there was no leadership, and that the leadership did not really address the concerns of the library staff after this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further public comment? Just want to thank everybody for their public comment today. Seeing there's no further public comment's now closed. And we will now move to agenda item number 2, which is discussion and possible action to approve the October 16th, 2025 commission meeting minutes. We will open it up for public comment before our commission discussion and possible vote on this item. Public comment is now open in Correct on the October meeting minutes.
Peter Warfield, Executive Director, Library Users Association, P.O. Box 170544, San Francisco, California, 94117-0544. I think I used a word last time about the minutes being dishonest. And I certainly thought that all of you would be concerned about having honest minutes, including you're all smart and talented. Some of you have positions where one would certainly expect not only an understanding of what was said, but a sense of fairness about representing it in the minutes. Basically, you leave out important specifics that make understandable my comments and typically lose the point or are completely vague about any specifics so that meaning is reversed. I don't assert that you are touting, the library is touting social media. I say, it's a fact. I say that the library is uncritically touting to the public the use of social media. I was concerned about One City, One Book not being particularly critical about AI impacts, which are all over, being reported continually, environmental problems, accuracy problems, and climate problems, including the use of electricity, huge use of electricity and water. With respect to, there was a discussion about how you chose the One City, One Book, and there's no evidence that my critique about the lack of critical view of AI was in any way accurately reported, and one of your own members has not been reported as to how he defended and explained the choice. Those should be in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further public comment on the meeting minute for the October meeting, item number 2 on the agenda? Seeing there's no further public comment is now closed. And we will now turn to the commission for discussion and possible action on this. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the October commission meeting?
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the October minutes as written.
And do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Lomax-Garducci and a second from Commissioner Lopez.
I'll take the roll call. Commissioners, please say aye or no when I call your name. President Wolf?
Aye.
Vice President Wong?
Aye.
Commissioner Lomax-Garducci?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Bolander?
Aye.
Commissioner Calhoun?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. We now move on to item number 3, which is the annual discussion about the annual report that provides us with incredible information about what the staff and the community have accomplished. So I turn this over to our acting city librarian, our chief operating officer, Maureen Singleton. Thank you.
Thank you, President Wolf. Good evening, commissioners and our public and my colleagues. I have to say that the November commission meeting is usually one of my favorites because we do get to talk about the annual report, and it's our opportunity to showcase the impact that our staff have on San Francisco. I think a lot of you have heard me say before that I liken the San Francisco Public Library to a symphony where all of our staff have different sections and responsibilities that once you bring them together, create something amazing. And in our case, that means things like a third place for the community to gather. It's how we live out our strategic priorities. And it's an opportunity for our staff to grow, evolve, and advance so that we're meeting our community where they are and we're helping them get to where they want to be. And as you go through the entire report, I think one of the things, one of the graphics in that really exemplifies the impact that we're having and how we're meeting the community's needs is the patron satisfaction survey results. So in that chart, you will see that our scores are phenomenal, and I can tell you, since its inception in December of 2023, our marks have been high and getting higher in many cases. So that is a testament to the feedback we're getting from our community that we are in the right direction. And that's important for us to understand, and it also serves as a motivation for all of us who work for the library to continue doing what we're doing and continue to advance and grow and evolve for the community. So with that, I'd like to invite our Director of Communications, Jamie Wong, to come up here and walk you through the report and showcase the many things that we accomplished together.
Thank you, Maureen. What a wonderful introduction to the annual report. And I hope that everyone has had a chance maybe to do a quick glance over. Today's presentation is really a top-line highlights of what's included, and I'm eager to hear your feedback on it. So with that, I will go ahead and begin. Okay, so this year, the visual theme for the annual report is Skateboarding San Francisco, Concrete Community Continuity. This is the dazzling exhibit that came out in February of this year, and we are really proud to have done something really fun with it and brought it back for you to enjoy once more in the annual report. In the pages, you will find just a few of the many accomplishments and milestones that SFPL has made over the past fiscal year. It captures high-level benchmark data for the library's circulation and foot traffic, our patron satisfaction survey that Maureen had mentioned, and our peer benchmarking survey, among other details. But before we get started, I want to acknowledge the contributors to this year's report. This is the result of incredible teamwork. Speaking of symphonies, thank you to Randy, Yoon, Graham, and Zahir from our Research Strategy and Analytics Unit, and Angel from the Chief of Public Services Office for providing the data analysis that you see in these pages. Thanks as well to our finance and HR team who contributed content. And every year, the annual report looks just gorgeous due to the hard work of our graphics supervisor, Betty Ho. And I really think she knocked it out of the park this year. So enjoy. As usual, this is just a draft of the report presented to you for feedback before we develop the final version, which we aim to have available for dissemination in December. It will be available in print as well as digitally on our website. Okay, to kick it off, a few of our accomplishments. Last year, in the same annual report presentation, we emphasized SFPL's renaissance as an arts and culture hub, and we most certainly saw that come to fruition with Skateboarding San Francisco. We wanted to bring back the stunning visuals and celebrate the work of this exhibit, which once again saw 10,000 visitors over the course of its 5-month run. Another success story that we wanted to bring back up was Summer Stride, which had the greatest number of finishes ever, even before the pandemic. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag. Okay, sorry about that. As in previous years, we included a year in review. New this year, we organized the programs and initiatives by our Vision 2030 strategic priorities. In our role as literacy champions and community catalyzers, we offered a terrific new Comic Arts Fest and launched a special edition, One City, One Book. Sorry. We went too far. There we go. We launched a special edition, One City, One Book, to time with the arrival of our new Dr. Maya Angelou monument on Larkin Plaza. And we were thrilled to announce Jenny Lim as our new poet laureate, the first Chinese-American poet to serve in this role as part of our mission to be cultural amplifiers. One of our most satisfying successes as resource providers, yet another strategic priority, was to roll out our free-to-read recovery literature program to all SFPL locations, which we accomplished in June 2025. And our small business center hosted several small business strolls in some of the city's most beloved commercial corridors, such as Valencia Street and Glen Park. We made gains in our capital projects this year, reaching 50% completion on our Mission branch, and we secured a temporary location on 950 Grant Street for our Chinatown branch renovation project. Now, moving into the data portion. Last year, we held just over 13,000 youth programs. Including story times, we hosted more than 255,000 people at our youth events. The library hosted 5,598 adults and all ages programs with nearly 170,000 people attending. The photos also show some of the breadth of our programs. Library superfan Michael Threets at the Comic Arts Fest, 2 fantastic Bay FC players hosting a story time at our main children's center, a film trivia night with SF Film, and our program with KALW and Your Call with Rose Aguilar. We tracked our in-person traffic across all locations. We saw over 4.3 million visits over the year, the highest month being March, with 385,127 visits. Our circulation was just under 14.5 million last year, which was a 3.2% increase over the prior year. Both our print and digital materials were up over the prior year. We also included a visual of the top 5 titles broken down by format: fiction versus nonfiction, and audience. While many of these titles you would recognize from national bestseller lists, some of these lists are uniquely San Francisco and San Francisco Public Library in that they include our One City, One Book titles, such as The Chinese Groove by Catherine Ma and I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Dr. Maya Angelou. Moving on to budget. The annual report includes a breakdown of our total expenditures of $187.51 million. The bulk of our costs are for our dedicated staff, but also our vital collections that we maintain. Additionally, Friends of the Library provided grant funds of $902,000, supporting the library's incredible array of public programs that help us fulfill each and every one of our strategic priorities. Our Research, Strategy, and Analytics unit launched that customer service satisfaction survey in December 2023, so 2 years. And since its inception, the scores for each service have increased or stayed steady. We're proud to deliver on our promise of service excellence. I'd like to particularly acknowledge that staff assistance rated the highest as a 9.46. Not included in this deck, but absolutely worth marking, is our new National Peer Benchmarking Survey, which you can see in which gathers key performance metrics from leading urban libraries. SFPL exceeded the average on all measures, most notably in visits per capita. To conclude, I wanted to spotlight some of the voices of our patrons who wrote heartfelt responses to our prompt, "How has the library impacted your life?" I hope that as you page through the annual report, you enjoy the testimonials which give a clear picture of the value of the library. Thank you so much. The final report will be published this December.
Thank you, Jamie. And I just wanted to take a moment to echo my appreciation to Jamie and her team, particularly Betty, with beautiful artistry to help tell our story. And also wanted to take the opportunity to thank the Friends, who are an integral partner in the services that we provide our community. So they help us amplify our voice and reach out and extend beyond our normal budget. So with that, I thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll have an opportunity to offer some comments and questions. But first, we're going to open this up to public comment. So anyone here in Correct Auditorium who would like to make a comment regarding this annual report draft, please do so at this time. It is now open. Thank you.
Hello, library leaders. My name is Emily Garvey. I'm the Executive Director of Friends of the San Francisco Public Library. Congratulations on an extraordinary year, an extraordinary annual report. Congratulations, Jamie and your team. We are so proud at Friends to have been able to provide support, and thank you for your recognition of the over $902,000 that our donors and members provided. It's really fun to look through the report and to see all of the incredible outcomes, and also to recognize the places that Friends did support. In most of the pictures, there is some element in programs of support brought from our members and donors, and we're really, really proud of that impact. Friends will be building our own annual report, so you will see more about the work that we do in terms of library support and advocacy as well for the San Francisco Public Library in the months to come. Congratulations.
Thank you. Further public comment?
Peter Warfield, Executive Director, Library Users Association, P.O. Box 170544, San Francisco, California, 94117-0544, if you want to reach us confidentially and without being hacked. It says library circulation data, but it says below that in small letters, number of physical and digital materials added to the collection. I'm rather disappointed that there's no usual circulation figures that you like to talk about and that are standard measures of performance. One of the problems I have with the circulation measures that you usually have and discuss are that there's no measure whatsoever of browsing within the library. There's none at all with respect to circulation or use of newspapers and magazines. Those are very significant and important parts of the library's collection and use by the public. With respect to the satisfaction survey, as usual, the librarians come out absolutely on top. I used to say the best search engine is a librarian. I think I should say that let's see if we can find a search engine that anything approaches a librarian. I'm disappointed that in the nonfiction there's one that particularly interests me, but I'd like to see more nonfiction and more basically issues that people are dealing with all the time: climate change, income disparities, and a whole range of current issues that I don't see sufficiently publicized at the library. I also see on the satisfaction that the very least satisfaction is with the hours, and the library continues without having any discussion or action by you to have cut all the 9 o'clock closures.
Thank you very much. Any further public comment on this agenda item?
I, too, would like to highlight page 19, staff assistance. And when you're speaking of staff assistants, you're talking about frontline staff, librarians, technicians, assistants, pages, custodians, security, people who are serving the public every day. And that's where the greatest satisfaction comes from. And I feel like it would be worth your time to make a commendation to frontline staff of the San Francisco Public Library. The library has something called staff appreciation, but this past year it was relegated to people who were meeting with the city librarian's strategic priorities as opposed to providing the everyday fine service that the public sees and appreciates. I thought it was an apt metaphor to call the staff a symphony, but the problem is that it feels like the library administration doesn't really know the musicians and the parts they play. So I want to be very happy about that. And when we look at circulation statistics and traffic, we also have to keep in mind that the population of the city of San Francisco has actually shrunk some. So the fact that we're holding our own is showing in a way that we're actually growing and doing very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further public comment on this agenda item? Seeing there's no further public comment, it's now closed here in Corrette. And I turn this over to the commission. Jamie, you may want to stand up for this. I just want to begin by saying thank you for this extraordinary presentation. And I have to say, this is, like Maureen said, this is a favorite time of year to see what creativity has emerged to tell the story and to share that information with the broader community. And every year, the design is always so fantastic. It's extraordinary to see in one place everything that we've been hearing year-round, and we get these reports, and so it all feels new, even though most of it isn't new to us. It's here, it's been presented to us. I think the customer satisfaction is probably the newest that we may not have had that presentation on, but everything else, I feel like we've been getting this information all through the year, but it feels so fresh and alive to see it woven together. So I just want to say thank you. So with that, I want to just open this up for any questions or comments from commission members on this. Commissioner Lopez?
It's on. Amazing work. Really, I like the booklet too. Very colorful. I do have a question on patron satisfaction survey. We have the total numbers, and I was wondering if we have anything specific for the branches, like, individual results. And I was just curious about that. In general, I know we're great, and I like to see how, staff is doing really. I mean, it's our asset. It's what brings satisfaction to our patrons. And I was just wondering if there is such a data, if there is that information.
Thank you for that question, Commissioner Lopez. For that, I would love to turn the mic over to my Randy.
Good evening, everyone. That's a great question, and the answer is we are tracking that data. The issue is as you can imagine, we've been doing this almost for 2 years now. Every month the survey goes out, and we have 28 locations. So for some of our branches, we have reached a level of statistical significance to be able to say, this is how they're doing on all of these metrics, but not for every branch yet. And it's simply a matter of getting enough responses in for all of our 28 locations. And once we have that, we'll feel comfortable sharing that data publicly. Currently, I think we have about 12 to 15 of the more heavily trafficked branches where we have that data, where it would be significant. We're not there yet with the other 12 or so. Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. So the satisfaction survey goes to car holders. I'm imagining, right? And oh wait. That's okay. Technical difficulties. So the survey, I know that from the past meetings, it comes in different forms. People can do it at the branch or at the at the branches, but it's also email or sent to patrons. Can you elaborate more on the survey, on the way that we collect this data?
Sure. So this particular survey is randomized from our database, active patrons. We use their emails and we send it out every month, and then no individual will get it more than twice, or will get it twice in 1 year, right? And so we have approximately 93% of our patron database that is active have active emails. So there's a little bit of gap with that 7%, and we will have to decide how we want to handle that going forward. But most of our patrons do have an active email. So we're not doing it in the branches, we're not doing it in person because it's randomized. So that's how we can feel comfortable with the data we're getting back and that it is statistically significant across our system. Yep.
Thank you.
Further comments, questions? Commissioner Bolander.
So the peer benchmarking survey, I know this is the first year. Sorry, Randy, you shouldn't have sat down. I'm just curious obviously benchmarking against our peers, but like how did it come about, and will we continue to do this year after year? Or is it every 2 years, or what's the frequency of this sort of stuff?
It came about as a result of some of the national organizations that have traditionally done this work. For example, the PLA, the Public Library Association, the IMLS as well. Obviously, a lot going on with their funding streams. What information that still exists in terms of peer benchmarking nationally has a huge lag, right? So currently it's November 2025. The best available data that we could see from IMLS is 2023 data. So internal conversations among the city librarians team and leadership, we said we'd like to try to enable a project last spring and summer to reach out to some of our top peers. So we reached out to 32 of those peers. There was a criteria threshold basis. It was based on population size of your service area, in addition to whether you're an urban, dense environment. 32 locations or 32 cities got that survey and 17 replied. So again, it's not comprehensive like the ILMS or even like the PLA in past years, but it is a pretty significant number of our peers, including New York Public and some others, LA Public. You see them in front of you. And so we asked a series of questions about some of our core metrics, just to get a sense of how they're doing versus us with respect to coming out of the pandemic, right? And so we did share that back with the ULC this summer as well, or this fall as well, and they're doing their own thing that they're starting. So it's kind of a little bit of a mixed bag nationally what people are doing, but we wanted to really see how we were specifically as we're coming out of the pandemic. Yep. Currently, there is no plan to do this annually, although we certainly could if there's interest. We also want to be cognizant of not stepping on everyone's toes and having SFPL doing this, especially if ULC is going to pick up doing this more and more, and the IMLS is continuing to do it. Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Wong.
Just wanted to say really quickly, thank you to the staff and the folks who are interacting with our patients every day. You would think that, last year we came in at 9.41, I believe, is I just looked up the 2024 numbers for staff assistants. And even then you would think that there's no way this number can go any higher, and yet it did. And so, no pressure, but 9.5 is right around the corner. But no, it's truly just remarkable, right? Like for all intents and purposes, this is a straight 10 out of 10 experience. And I'm sure so many people would rate this at 12 or 15 or 20 if they could. And so if anybody's watching both now or later or whatever it is, truly thank you. You make you make the library experience for so many people, and your work is truly the bedrock of what we do. So many thanks to you all.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going down the line here, everyone. Commissioner Calhoun.
Absolutely, thank you. I really just want to echo what Pete said. This is very difficult work. The statistical work in particular is impressive. to have the level of confidence that we need to be able to sit here and truly trust these data is no small feat. So to all the folks who made this happen, one small just fact, the city population actually has been increasing the last 3 years. And so to actually continue to do this when we are serving net new people is pretty remarkable as well. So I just wanted to make sure that that was out there as well. But thank you to everyone who created this report.
Great. Commissioner Lomax-Gallarducci.
So I'm going to chime in here too. I have to just say that the images, particularly of the skateboarding exhibit, and as you said, Jamie, to continue it, and as Madam Chair had said, it's like we've seen it before, but it's refreshed. But what a way to kind of memorialize them and these young people who are all adults now and probably have children and perhaps grandchildren of their own, to be able to do so in a document that people will reference and it'll be in their offices and desks and what have you. I just think it's lovely. Who you choose to uplift with your platform tells you a lot about who you are. You know, like I say, you can find out about what someone's values are with how they spend their budget. I think the same thing, even in something like this, who we choose and how we do that, and the format, even on an annual report, is just not only lovely visually, but it also speaks about who the San Francisco Public Library is. So thank you so much for doing that. A lot of communities will look at that and they'll see themselves.
Okay, so this was a phenomenal. I hope you take this in. I hope the entire staff takes this in. Randy, just want to do a special shout out for the incredible services that you provide and the data that you're constantly gathering, and you present it so well for us to understand. And it's exciting to know that you're still pretty new. I mean, the division hasn't been around that long, and yet you are really getting this information out to inform and to help us, because next month we start thinking about the budgets, and that data actually helps propel us to make important decisions. And so it's really fantastic. So I just want to say thank you. You heard a lot of thank yous up here. It's a beautiful report, but more importantly, it's beautiful what the library does throughout every district and every neighborhood and every community in this city to provide resources in such meaningful ways that we get 9.46 satisfaction. We're aiming for 9.5, right, Pete? Yeah. And it's really remarkable, and it'd be interesting if we do benchmarks again, find out what their patron satisfaction is.
I don't think they do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
we're the only ones to do that.
Yeah, so it's a really great thing, and I just want to say thank you, and we already look forward to next year and everything that we will learn about in the coming year to then create a new presentation that will feel afresh again. So thank you. Now we turn to item number 4, which is our city librarian's report, but today it is our chief operating officer's report with Maureen stepping in. Thank you.
All right, thank you again. And we have 3 wonderful reports for you tonight, where our staff will share with you some of the key activities and programs that have been going on recently or ongoing. Our first presenter is Greg Hom, who's our program manager at the Stegner Environmental Center here at the main library. He's going to share with us the activities from Native Heritage Month that honor Indigenous and Native cultures. Greg?
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Gregory Hom, Environmental Center. I'm representing the Cultural Amplification Committee. So it was a group of us that put all these programs together, and it took a lot of work. So let's go through them. So the first program to talk about is San Francisco Poet Laureate Emerita Kim Shuck invited special guests to celebrate the Native American poet and scholar Janice Gould. Gould passed in 2019. She was a Concal poet. That's her tribe. She was published in over 60 journals, and she taught at over 13 colleges and universities. if you want to read any of her poetry. Some of it is online at poetryfoundation.org. This next program, Amy Bowers Cordalis, Indigenous Resistance and Environmental Justice. She'll give a short talk on her involvement with the undamming of the Klamath River, a vital source of food, income, and cultural identity for members of the Yurok Nation. This is through my department specifically, so I can speak the best to it. Cordalis is a mother, fisherwoman, attorney, and member and former general counsel of the Yurok Nation, the largest indigenous nation in California. So as general counsel, she played a specific integral role in bringing the dams down. The program, I think, is exciting on its own merits. I'm also happy to say that it follows through on a suggestion from the Association of Ramaytush Ohlone that I asked for their feedback on programs I might do this year, and a program on the dams was one of them. So I'm glad we got to make that happen. Next, we have Paul Stewart. This is Stewart's second year doing public programming with us. Stewart's a lecturer on Native American and American Indian Studies at CSU SF, doing that since 2016. He specializes in the history of California and the local history and culture of the Bay Area and North Bay. Stewart is a tribal member of the Elam Indian colony of Pomo Indians of the Sulphur Bank Rancheria, and you can see him there with a guitar. He's a professional musician as well, and so his program involves kind of storytelling and some music with that. Next up, we also have Kalori Roanhorse, instructor Kalori Roanhorse, an expert in Native American beading and owner of Navajo Dream Authentic Handmade Jewelry, and teaches the basics of jewelry design and beading. She's presented with us for many years, and this is her first year doing a youth program with us. And then Ohlone Games with Cafe Ohlone. Cafe Ohlone is perhaps known to you as a restaurant located outside Hearst Museum at UC Berkeley. And they also do tons of cultural programming and education on Ohlone foodways and culture at our library and elsewhere in the Bay Area. Past reading recommendations from Cafe Ohlone have been made into a book list on our BiblioCommons platform. And again, this is their first year doing a youth program with us, and they've done other adult programs in the past. Let's see here. What do we have now? The Ohlone sisters. I think I did this. My notes are off around them. But they are two women of Ohlone background from the East Bay, and they're continuing to do youth program with us that they've been doing for many years. I wish the clicker would work. Did I click there?
I think sometimes it's jumping around a little bit.
It went too far. I apologize. I'm trying. Yes, please. All right, Alicia. Oh. It's all good, Chris. I'm hanging out, you know? Alicia Retes. All right. Alicia has been connected to the library for a few years, and she specializes in storytelling. She comes from a mixed Indigenous Mexican, Indigenous North American, and European background. She's doing a talk on inspired by the many legends of the three sisters, which are three plants, corns, bean, and squash. In the story and music adaptation by Retes includes colorful corn husk characters and who reveal their origins in the Americas. And then we have some painting with Felicia Gabaldon. She did the campaign art for First Person last year, and this time she's doing a workshop with us. So she'll be doing this thing with you create your own artwork using acrylic paints led by her, and then you'll take a unique painting home using her images as inspiration. Gabaldon is from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and currently resides in Berkeley, California. She's a resident artist at Fault Line Art Space in Oakland, California. Gabaldon's work can be seen in Bay Area galleries, and she was one of 3 artists to install artwork at the Presidio Tunnel Tops as part of the Ancestral Futurism Public Art Mentorship. Very cool stuff to see there. And Felicia, if you're into the skateboard stuff that we were just talking about, she has 2 painted skateboard decks on display in the 5th floor Environmental Center. I believe one's a fox and one's a coyote. And the small exhibition of her art was made in conjunction with the larger skateboarding exhibit. And I think they're beautiful. So if you have time, go up to the 5th floor and check them out. You can see that we have some book clubs and things going on. And my clicker did not do the right thing again. Standing by. Yeah. And so we're happy to be doing those and making book lists and making sure that people are aware of the diversity of literature that we try to make sure that we build in our library system. And I believe that that is it for me this evening. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful. Thank you, Greg. All right. Our next presenter is Ruben Balderas, and he is our early learning coordinator, and he is here to talk about our annual music festival for families and youth. And take it away, Paul.
Yeah, we'll see how lucky I get here with these slides. Here we go. So good evening, commissioners, library colleagues, members of the public. I am Ruben Balderas, as Maureen introduced, the early learning coordinator for the library. And I'm here to talk about the library's 14th edition of our Tricycle Music Fest program series, which takes place at various library locations throughout the month of October. So Tricycle Music Fest is a program series consisting of children's music concerts offering young children and their families the opportunity to rock, play, and learn at the library. In addition to the fun of singing, dancing, and music, Tricycle Music Fest shows offer book giveaways, and at each program, one lucky raffle winner takes home a shiny red tricycle. Bringing these programs to library locations across the city, Tricycle Music Fest supports the library's mission to connect our diverse communities to learning, opportunities, and each other, and the library's values of equity, community, and exploration. Equity by providing access to live music for free, strengthening our communities by inviting people to come together to engage, inspire, celebrate, and learn from each other, and exploration, as these performances offer concrete learning experiences along with encouraging imaginations and following one's curiosities. Tricycle Music Fest centers the library as literacy champions, cultural amplifiers, community catalyzers, thoughtful navigators, and resource providers. For championing literacy, music, and singing are some of the key childhood development tools for developing pre-literacy skills such as phonemic awareness, or the ability to identify, think about, and work with the individual sounds in spoken words. That's okay for now. Or to learn new vocabulary. There we go. Thank you. For cultural amplification, we're proud to present artists of a variety of backgrounds who celebrate their identities and their work. As community catalyzer, music bridges generations and allows people to meet each other, including library staff who in the process of hosting connect with their neighbors and neighboring institutions. By bringing many of these programs outdoors, these shows reach audiences who aren't always coming into the library, but in conversation, we're able to enter that thoughtful navigator space, pointing people toward library and community resources that support the family's well-being and help foster networks for parents and caregivers. And as a resource provider, these programs offer accessible exposure to experiences that normally require fees to access. The Tricycle Music Fest program series was a success. We had 8 concerts attended by 600 attendees. At the concerts, there was an average of 200 books given away, not 200 books total. So just to clarify what's on the slide there. And at each program, one lucky child won a shiny red tricycle, as I mentioned. Sure. You've got it. Absolutely. So Tricycle Music Fest's first weekend brought multiple award winner and SFPL Bay Beats artist Megan Schoenbaum and her trusty acoustic guitar to the Eureka Valley and Parkside Branch libraries. The Eureka Valley branch repurposed their parking lot space for just the second time ever for this program, and the Parkside branch hosted in their patio as part of their annual open house program. Megan's upbeat original songs, sporting self-affirming themes and renditions of classic favorites drew in the audience of children and families who came for the show specifically, as well as passersby who happened upon the right place at the right time. Next slide, please. The following weekend saw two-time Latin Grammy Award winner and author Lucky Diaz perform at the Visitation Valley Branch Library and the West Portal Branch Library. Lucky shared his hip-shaking kindie rock and led read-alouds of his books Paletero Man and his newest Fix It Familia with bilingual songs and books centered on themes of community. So generous with his time, Lucky stayed after both shows and met every child and family in attendance, and all children in the audience went home with a signed copy of his new book, Fix It Familia. Next slide, please. The second half of Tricycle Music Fest kicked off with Bay Beats artist René Familia, a three-generation family band who brought songs from Latin traditions to the Excelsior Branch Library for Sunday Streets and the Marina Branch Library. René Familia's songs draw from musical genres such as cumbia, ranchera, and corridos, and address cultural pride, solidarity, STEAM themes, that's science, technology, engineering, art, and math, and socio-emotional regulation, and they were the perfect complement to that sunny Sunday afternoon that we had. Next slide, please. And the final weekend of Tricycle Music Fest saw the series close out with Grammy Award winners and authors, Alphabet Rockers at the North Beach Branch Library and the Dog Patch Hub, home of SFPL's Dog Patch Kiosk. The Alphabet Rockers brought a high-energy performance of socially conscious hip-hop for children, and like the Lucky Diaz shows 2 weeks before, all children in attendance went home with signed copies of their book, You Are Not Alone. Unfortunately, we were not quite as lucky this year to have a full month of weekend sunshine. We did have to move the North Beach Branch program indoors due to rain, but the Alphabet Rockers, North Beach staff, and community weren't deterred at all. The program moved indoors, and we had one of the best dance parties that we had the whole month. The final program at the Dog Patch Hub was our very first ever children's program at that location, which was great. It was a cozy living room-like space. It was perfect. I think it's a perfect space for many library programs, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to work there in the future. And their incredibly kind and capable staff made them wonderful partners who I'd love to work with again. Next slide, please. So Tricycle Music Fest, it was a blast. And in order for a series to be successful, it takes a lot of people. And so I want to just be sure to publicly thank our public affairs team for their work in helping to get the word out, our Chief of Branch's leadership for helping to identify hosting locations, our locations for their willingness to host, delivery services to make sure that the materials and supplies arrived for each show, facilities for ensuring each location was clean and safe, our finance team making sure, just working with our city vendors, the media services team for ensuring the artists sounded their best, my colleagues in community programs and partnerships who came and lent a hand at the programs, and finally to the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library for their support in funding these library programs. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ruben, for all the great work. Our last presenter tonight is, let's see if we can advance the slide, is Brian Weaver, our third floor manager, and here at the main library, and our Bay Beats maestro, if you will. He's here to highlight the program, the Bay Beats program, which gives a really good opportunity for local artists to shine and helps us extend access to our residents to even more local musicians. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to assume, oh, you're getting a new clicker.
Ooh.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Problem solved, hopefully.
Thank you. Thank you, Maureen. And good afternoon, commissioners.
Yes, I'm Brian Weaver, third floor manager here at the main library and chair of the Bay Beats project team. And I know I probably don't even need to tell you about Bay Beats. I'm sure you're all avid users and big supporters of the local music scene. But just in case you're not, and I'm sure you soon will be if you're not, Bay Beats is San Francisco Public Library's local music streaming platform that features and champions the outstanding independent musical talent from right here in our own Bay Area backyard. It's accessible through the library's website or directly at baybeats.sfpl.org. Most of you may remember that we launched Bay Beats in October 2023, just about 2 years ago, with an initial selection of 144 albums uploaded to the platform. We added another 161 albums last November with our 2024 collection. And then last month, we launched the 2025 collection, adding another 176 albums to the site, bringing the total number of albums to 481. And those 481 albums are from 433 different artists, representing representing 21 different musical genres. The way Bay Beats works is that each year local musicians are able to submit original tracks to be considered for inclusion in the Bay Beats platform during our open submissions period, which is every March 1st through May 31st. We also select community jurors who can be described as Bay Area music influencers or persons of note in the local music scene. They represent different communities in the Bay Area, and they help us with promotion and reviewing submissions, and are basically like the public face of Bay Beats. The Bay Beats project team, consisting of 17 San Francisco Public Library staff members from all different classes and departments, reviews the bulk of the submissions and chooses the albums that will be added to the Bay Beats platform. And by the way, that guy on the left, he's not actually part of the Bay Beats project team, but he's one of our biggest supporters. He comes to all our shows. And that's me in the middle holding up the Urban Libraries Council Top Innovators Award for Advocacy and Awareness in 2024. Okay, so musicians whose albums are selected to receive an honorarium payment and sign a licensing agreement that allows us to host their music on the website for 2 years. After that period of time, they can request the music or their album to be taken down, which has yet to happen. And then anyone looking to explore the Bay Area's vibrant local scene, local music scene, can stream music on Bay Beats, browsing by artist, album, collection year, or genre, while SFPL card holders can additionally log in with their library card number and their PIN and download audio files or whole albums. We have been very pleased with the positive public response to Bay Beats. We were really unsure what to expect when we initially put out the call for submissions for Bay Beats back in 2023, but we were thrilled to receive over 600 submissions. The following year, 2024, we received 424 submissions. And so we were really curious as to how many submissions we would receive this year. Would it go continue downward, stay the same, go back up? But this year, we received 539 submissions. The graphics we're looking at here were created by the folks at Rabble, which is the company we contract with that has designed what they call the Music Cat platform, which we use for Bay Beats and which is used by a number of library systems throughout the country and in Canada as well. This first image is what they call a heat map, showing where by zip code in the Bay Area all the submissions are coming from. So you can see the Mission District is at the top, as it has been each year. So a vibrant scene going on there. And this year, the second highest was 94117, which includes Upper and Lower Haight. And also, you can see in the map that we get a lot of submissions really from all over, but primarily San Francisco and Oakland, East Bay. This second image is a breakdown of all the different genres of the submissions, with rock at the top, and as it has been every year, rock on, followed by rap and pop, electronic music, very popular, folk and jazz up there too. And just a note regarding the submissions we've received and the number of albums we've added to the platform. Rabble, whose other clients include Seattle, Austin, Nashville, Memphis, and New Orleans public libraries, have told us that in the 2 years since Baby It's launched, we have become the second largest collection and the fastest growing. What about patron use of the platform? In the 2 years that we've been active, launching on October 28th, up until I ran this report on the 17th of this month, we've gotten 113,000 streams, 1,900 downloads. In 2024, that year, we received 45,700 streams and 550 downloads. So that's about 3,800 streams per month, or 125 per day. This year, so far, we've gotten 42,000 streams and 645 downloads. So we're on track to meet, if not, probably will surpass what we got last year. We also host numerous programs featuring Baby It's artists. I mislabeled this one. This is Grublin. It is at Richmond Branch on 2024, but this was our launch party last year, which was held at the Richmond Branch. The Neutrals at 2025 Library Day at New Farm. The Doppler Trio doing Atrium Tunes at noon here at the main library, which we have from time to time. Carolyn Chung and Citizen Jazz at Richmond Branch's Sidewalk series that they are doing annually now with Baby It's artists. Math rockers Still Deer at our Baby It's launch party this year, which was held at the Golden Gate Park Band Shell. Also, Casey Cope, indie rap artist Casey Cope, performing at the band shell as well for our launch party. So we've also forged some great ongoing partnerships with some of these partners actually reaching out to us because they heard about the platform and wanted to be part of it, wanted to help out, like White Crate and KXSF. And our other partners, Amoeba and BFF.FM, Illuminate, and of course, Friends of San Francisco Public Library are all around, all the time partners. So moving forward, we'll be renewing our contract with Rabble, which means we'll continue to put out calls for submissions in 2026, 2027, and 2028, adding more and more albums to the Baby It's site and expanding the selection for patrons to explore the amazing local music scene here in the Bay Area. And just a shout out to the Baby It's project team and our management liaisons. And I wanted to include the poster for our first ever goth show here in the Crett Auditorium this Saturday. So please come out and dress all in black. Wear your dark eyeliner and your black nail polish, and you'll fit right in. Thanks, everyone.
All right, that concludes the City Librarian Report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will we'll continue this item with general public comment on the city librarian's report. So if there's anyone who would like to make public comment on this presentation, please do so at this time. Thank you.
Peter Warfield, Executive Director, Library Users Association, P.O. Box 170544, San Francisco, California, 94117-0544. As usual, thanks very much to the presenters for presenting. It's always interesting to hear what the library is doing. And every time I see Bay Beats, I'm thinking, is that the Beatniks, the Beats of North Beach? But that's a previous time. The Stegner Environmental Center program sounded interesting, and I'm wondering whether there's anything being done with respect to the larger issues of climate change, including AI impacts on climate and potential impacts. The New Yorker of November the 3rd has a long article about information overload and talks about the drain on electrical grid and also land based on what they're doing and planning to do. Some serious issues there, and I'd certainly be interested to see what the Environmental Center, if anything, might do with regard to that, or the library. With respect to Bay Beats, I see that there's streaming from the library website. Unfortunately, for those who don't have a headset or their private equipment and connection, the library, as far as I know, still does not offer headsets to those who come to the library and didn't bring one. And I think that's something the library could certainly improve. I'd like to see the annual report that you guys have, one page per, and I also think it's appalling that 7% of the population have not been surveyed in the satisfaction survey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further
Can I
public
see a
comment?
report, today?
Any further public comment? We can provide that to you after the meeting. Okay? Thank you. We'll do it after the meeting.
Peter, I gave you a copy. You can get a copy for me in the morning.
I want it at the meeting.
We're going to continue on with the meeting at this point, and Peter, if you could just work with Margot to get a copy, that would be great. Thank you. Seeing any further public comment on this item? Seeing there's no further public comment is now closed. Once again, the city librarian's report did not disappoint. It just completely provided extraordinary insight into all that happens here at the library that we don't always know that is happening. Just want to thank Gregory, Ruben, and Brian. Your presentations were outstanding, and even with difficulties with slides, the images were fantastic and so compelling. And so I just want to start by saying thank you. And I know behind and to the side of you are many, many people who help make everything possible. And we just want to extend our gratitude and appreciation for the work they do to make these incredible programs so meaningful. It's just kind of amazing how we connect with communities and how we engage the citizens of San Francisco in these very diverse, different ways and try and meet every citizen of this community in the way that they want to be met. So it's really exciting. So any comments, questions from the commissioners?
I'm going to jump in.
Okay, great. Commissioner Jones.
I'd love to build on that because Ruben, in particular in your presentation, you talked about like first time. You're like, it was the first time in Eureka Valley or second time where they used the parking lot. It was the first time at Dog Patch where they had a children's program. And I think that's what's powerful about the work that everyone's doing here is you're setting the tone for the future through all of these first times. And I just want to commend that because I think that's so awesome. the Bay Beats presentation, Brian, my mind's a little blown right now. I can't help but wonder or just ask, and maybe this is an offline conversation around, is there a scaling opportunity with what you're doing here? Meaning, you're talking about how powerful it is. The fact that there's almost 4,000 streams a month in this local SFPL owned, platform. What happens in the music community that I know is very close knit when someone in Michigan hears about said artist and wants to start to engage with the platform? Like, what does this look like beyond San Francisco? And is the potential bigger than here? And I guess with that, I don't totally understand who owns the platform. Is it Music Cat? Is it Rabble? So you had a few names in there.
Okay, so the first question regarding people from outside of San Francisco wanting to engage with it. So anyone can stream music on the platform. You don't have to be a library card user or a holder to listen to any music on Bay Beats, on the Bay Beats website. If you do have a San Francisco Public Library card, you are able to log in to the website and additionally download the audio files.
Wait, can I just so if you don't have a card and you want to download, is there a cost?
No, I mean, you just can't do it, yeah. But you can tell from the statistics that most people seem to prefer to stream, just because, as I was saying, like per month, per year, last year we had 45,700 streams, but only 550 downloads. So it seems most people are wanting to stream the music, and that seems to coincide with how people use other, like websites like Spotify or Bandcamp, and it's primarily streaming. And then your other question, remind me what would the
Well, I'm just curious about scaling. Like, is there a membership opportunity here? And if you don't live in San Francisco and you don't have a card, like, how do we? Essentially, I'm just kind of wondering if there is a monetization opportunity that flows back to, like, beyond, like, could flow back to the library beyond San Francisco users.
And
that are
also,
getting it for
maybe
free.
also explain how we're part of, this is not owned by San Francisco Public Library. There's a platform that we use. That was one of your other questions. So
and maybe that's
maybe
where it-
explain
Yeah,
that
so
a little bit
the
as
so the
well.
monetization of it, that would be on what I could talk about or explain. I mean, generally the library doesn't try to
No, I know the library doesn't. Just so we're clear, I know the library is. I'm just wondering if there was an outsider who wanted to participate. I'm just curious about that piece.
Okay, so let me get to the part about Rabble. So Rabble is the company that we contract with. They have designed this platform, which they call Music Cat. And as I mentioned, there are a number of library systems throughout the country that.
And how many library systems are?
I think there's 15 currently, somewhere between 15 and 20. So we basically pay them for this service of the website, and I'm not sure how to really explain like who owns it, or that's they own the website, their website, their platform. So if they were to suddenly go out of business, then we would be out of luck. But the audio files are ours. They host the files. Of course, they're not really ours. They're the musicians' audio files. We just contract with the musicians to allow us to use their files for 2 years, but they can allow us to continue to use them. Does that explain it? Okay.
just wanted to be sure you understood, like, we buy this service to use it, but we get to brand it as if it's our own.
Yeah.
Even though, but behind the hood,
Right.
it's somebody else's whole program.
Right, right. Okay. Take it offline. Perfect, thanks.
Any other further, okay, Commissioner Calhoun?
So you have to humor me. One of the reasons I became a librarian 20-some years ago, I've heard that DC Public was doing punk rock in the library. And I was like, these people are cool. So thank you for continuing the tradition. I want to just point out that one of the things I saw too is that there's distinct intention around music for younger folks and music for everybody else. And I really want to lean into the music for young folks. I think that's so important. And what that does, I think, is really broaden horizons and show young people in particular what's possible. And so I love the old folk stuff. I'm all in. But thank you in particular for making sure that young people have the opportunity to hear live music. Two questions. I think I saw somewhere that there was some opera-related programming that SFPL was involved in. Is that in any way connected to what we heard about today, or is that something separate? Separate.
That's something separate.
Okay. That I understand why there is a preponderance of rock, but I think that can speak to a lot of things. So if there's an opportunity to lean into musical communities maybe that are further on the margins, I would love to see that. I know that's not easy, and I know there's not a lot of folks out there doing opera, but I wanted just to call that out. And then the last question I had is, is there anything happening around any of these programs with teaching, especially young people, how to be musicians? Thank you.
Yeah, I can answer that. In some of all of our branches do have story times, which have large musical components to them. But very specifically, I'm thinking of examples like our Potrero branch library that does have kind of a really fundamental, starting to bang around with percussion instruments, things like that. All of our libraries do have different sorts of kind of noise-making, really developmentally appropriate like bells and shakers, things like that, to really kind of get that really first step into music. So it is happening at all of our libraries. Some are even going further, like I was saying, like that Potrero example and I think I know our Excelsior branch is also doing things like that. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'd also like to add, so one of our future goals for Bay Beats for next year is to expand how can we reach teens more and also capitalize on the fact that we have a beautiful mix facility here with all of the equipment to help them learn how to play music. So how can we get them involved in Bay Beats as well? So that's one of the things we're looking at partnering with outside organizations to help them create music on their own as well. So that's one of our goals for the following year.
Thank you, Don.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point out too that actually one of the artists on Bay Beats, I think goes by Alex 415, recorded his music in the mix, and it was accepted onto the platform.
Great. That's that's like the whole thing. Like you go to the mix, you make a song, you get selected, and you're all of a sudden being streamed by possibly 40,000 people. So that's not so bad. Say that's a good track record. That was, and I do know there have been many very exciting programs that the library staff does, collaborating with the San Francisco Symphony, collaborating with San Francisco Opera. And so what I really like about all of these different programs is the ways in which we are recognizing the many ways in which music is developed in this city and meeting at every place and every possibility. So it's pretty robust. I think that we it could be that at some point we kind of look at all the music programs, like what is everything, because we've kind of get it a little here and a little there, but it might be interesting to see it as a whole. What is that spectrum that we are presenting here at the library in the different forms for the different age groups? That might be a nice kind of presentation, as opposed to a little here and a little there. So, so any further public comment? Commissioner comment. I just want to say again that this was a really wonderful set of presentations, really exciting, and so great that we begin every meeting with an homage and a recognition of the Ramaytush Ohlone community, and then to have Gregory, for you to really talk about reaching out to that community and the kind of programs that we're presenting throughout the library system, to acknowledge the extraordinary contributions and ways in which they are active and very important members of cultural engagement. So thank you for that. It was very exciting to see that kind of range. And of course, kids and music, and I really wish I was small enough to win a tricycle. It's such a great idea of just that image of a tricycle. And again, the Bay Beats, how we have branded it. What I love about it is that, like, under the hood is this whole other platform, but it feels like it's 100% ours. And the way in which the team has embraced it and presented it is like, there's no place else that does something as cool as this. So I really, really appreciate that effort. So on that note, we will conclude our meeting for November. We will go to adjournment, and I just want to say that we have one more meeting this year and looking forward to it. And in the interim, I wish everybody a really wonderful holiday with family, friends, and your community. And we look forward to seeing you back in December, but many times in between for all the many amazing programs that are offered. So thank you. And this meeting is adjourned.